The year is 2199. Infinite energy has been achieved and reshaped the geopolitical landscape of Earth, dissolving smaller nation-states into mega-states encompassing entire continents. Behind and funding each of these states, the mega-corporations that have come to dominate the world. In their shadow, the mega-syndicates to fill in the negative space the corporations create. Over all of it, a vast omni-network, mapped to the world by a super AI and connected to the human mind through a semi-organic cybernetic in the brain known as the Elevated Mind System, or EMS for short. It is this cybernetic that elevated mankind's mental capacity and circumvented many of the organic restrictions of the human genetic code, opening up the gateway for liberal manipulation of the human body, both genetically and robotically. We find ourselves on the once desolate and dimly lit streets of an industrial district of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Now lit like a Christmas tree by police sirens, officers shuffle about outside of an old abandoned factory. Some cordoning off bystanders behind long ribbons of virtual yellow tape projected to the overlay, the others busily carrying out objects from the building. A dozen reporters speak fervently into the cameras, all trying to cover the story at play. Inside, a dark, dank building, a pentagram of blood laid upon the floor. Blood still trickles into the drain from the head of one Marcus Connolly, the mother killer. A bullet sent through his head, blasting his EMS into 1,000 shattered pieces, scattering it out along the concrete floor along with his gray matter. Perched next to him, UN Detective Wainwright rises from analyzing the body of the serial murderer who plagued the southeast states of the Greater Asian Federation. She thinks for a moment, then speaking not anywhere in particular. They fragged his memory drive. The whole EMS is gone. Less than ideal, wouldn't you say? She says pointedly. A man emerges from the shadows of some old machine, casually smoking a cigarette, his Mongolian face broad and lined by a fine mustache, a thick 5 o'clock shadow now formed on his chin and cheeks. UN Detective Ballore joins her at the body, looking down. He's dead, and the world is better for it. Take the win, Wainwright, and your glory, as he motions her towards the factory's front door. She pauses, glancing to where he motioned. And what about the girl, Ballore, the youngest of the Stone Gap family? He shakes his head. Don't know. Missing. Probably dead. He takes another puff of his cigarette and slowly starts walking towards the door. Wainwright joins him. They head for the front door to meet the many cameras of the media. The news report became the sensation of the GAF for the next month. UN detectives track down and confront the infamous mother murderer. Marcus Connolly, a psychopath with a dark past mired in war and chaos. He did not go easily, but the brave detectives and the UN Secretary forces prevailed in bringing justice to this evil man. Unfortunately, motives were never able to be identified, just the great tragedy of his many victims. We move 1 month from then to the day. We find ourselves in the dense metropolis of Bangkok, on the slum streets of the lower districts, almost always eclipsed in the darkness from the towering arcologies packed one next to the other. Here on the ground, the streets cracked and aged, crowded with vendor stalls, rickshaws, and the occasional land-restricted vehicle. People teem across the busy street floor, lit only by the neon signs drifting in the overlay, flashing images of food, weapons, and sex, all grabbing for the attention of the crowd. All marked and branded by the mega corporations and their millions of subsidiaries. We watch a young man leaning against the concrete wall of an alleyway. He stares off at nothing in particular, clearly having a conversation through his EMS. Then, would you please describe your character for us?
Yeah, so I am Andrew Raymond, and I am this super tall, lanky kind of guy, very pale from not going outside much. You can tell that he spends most of his time inside on the computer, net diving to some degree. He's got dark black hair, clean shaven face, looks to be like in his 30s or something. And he kind of has a permanent scowl on his face.
Excellent. Riot, as he goes by, leans against this alley window. He has just been contacted by one of his close contacts. He doesn't have many, being a hacker and somebody who closes himself in. He keeps his allies very close and doesn't get out much. But this one, known as Trinket, is a trusted comrade, also dedicated to the work of taking down the corporations. You've trusted him with a fair deal of information about your past, Riot, and over time, he's been doing digging, as you've been doing digging as well. And he recently just called you. You were on your way, making your way to the Raile estate for the moment you've been waiting for now for months. This is months in the making since you entered your name into the system, since you caught the eye, manipulating the Omni-N to make sure that you would be selected for this role, to get close to Dreyfus Raile, a very wealthy, a very powerful mogul, and one who virtually does not exist. You have scrubbed the Omni-N, you have jumped into submersion space and ran the grid matrix looking for anything you can drag up on this man, and the only place you can find it is when you plunge deep into the vast prescient mapping algorithm, that which lies below submersion space. A dangerous space to be going, but you have risked it. And this is where you came up with Raile's name in the first place, and you knew that you had to get close to this man. Trinket, over your EMS system, speaks to you now. You, using only thoughts, speak back to him. So listen, Riot. I've been digging around, looking for her. I took the information you gave me, Human Solutions, was it?
Yeah.
Right. I dug into Human Solutions. Like you suspected, they continued running components of She Biogenetics division. Really cryptic stuff. From what I can tell, somewhat hands-off mining the data, but to some extent, at least up until the last decade, they allowed carte blanche, the teams that were once She Biogenetics, then taken over by Human Solutions, to continue their experimentation. Which makes me believe that you're probably right. They probably took her, and as you suspected, enrolled them in this copper hose project.
Yeah. What do you have on copper hose?
Mostly nothing. I mean, I've scoured a long time now. It was talked about a lot 50, 60 years ago during the acquisition wars, then disappeared almost entirely. the best lead I have for you, I'm not saying it's much of a lead, Riot, but they were funding, or at least through a subsidiary, funding the Iyasu psychological ward in Malaysia. That's IYUSE, Iyasu. Unfortunately, the ward burned down 10 plus years ago. Some sort of freak accident took place there. It's not much of a lead, but it's the only thing I can really dig up tied to Copper Hose.
Have you been able to find anything? I think all of this is connected to psionics in some way. Have you found anything about that?
Not terribly much. I mean, mentions of psionic experimentation, but nothing that you haven't seen, Riot. You know, you've shared your stuff over. Copper Hose project was at least in some degree tasked with uncovering, manipulating psionic users. Again, I suppose it makes sense that they fund, maybe utilize the psych ward in Malaysia to mess around. Would work as a cover, a good cover for those who maybe have the arts, diagnose them officially through human solutions as insane. As their powers are emerging, ship them off to a psych ward where experimentation maybe takes place. Is it so hard to believe human solutions would do that?
No.
I can send you over the coordinates to the location. Like I said, burnt down, still property of human solutions, though I highly doubt that they're manning a ruin with security or any kind of apparatus.
Might be worth checking out. I'm having troubles believing that this place burned down by accident. Sounds like a cover-up. Maybe I can see if there was some sort of way they hacked the system to overload some sort of circuit breaker, cause the fire.
Looked into it myself. I mean, when I found it burned down, of course, naturally. Most of the time, these corporations, when they end something, they're selling the assets, right? Destroying the assets, well, I guess if it was operating as a black site or something like that, maybe they covering tracks. Could be. Word is, at least what I was able to dig up, psychological ward had retention issues near its final days of staffing. Population inside of it dwindled. Naturally, it had been open for decades. I think it began sometime during the acquisition wars. And Riot, you would know that the acquisition wars began in like 21, kind of ran earliest like 2130 all the way up to 2160, 2165. So, you know, it's been, since really the acquisition wars ended, it's probably been well over 30 years. It got its start somewhere along there. I think something to do with military individual shell-shocked, you know, trauma from the acquisition wars, the new tech being unveiled all across the Pacific, all across, well, the world, really. Quite a number got sent there after their time. From there, however, it's a random list of mostly individuals from the GAF. No rhyme or reason as far as I can tell. But might be worth looking into Could be Human Solutions covering their tracks, could be something else. If it was a black site, there's going to be a lot of dirty work going on. A lot of vying mechanisms. And yeah. And if it's psionics, well, that makes any mega corporation a player.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely worth checking out and seeing just how thoroughly it's burned down and everything is gutted out. I think will tell us a lot about what was there and what they don't want people to see.
Yeah, I know you got your big day today. Best of luck. Let me know if you dig anything up. I'll continue digging on my end. And as always, you need me for anything, let me know. We'll get them one way or another, one piece at a time. What we do.
That's how this works. Yeah. Well, I always appreciate your help, and I'll be wiring your money as usual.
Not a problem. Not a problem. When it comes, you know. Imagine Mr. Raile has quite a bit of money to give while you work for him. He'll have more money to give after, hopefully, to the people.
I'm looking forward to getting paid to snoop on the enemy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll keep looking into it. You better get going. Don't want to be late.
All right. Well, take care.
With that, the call ends and Riot heads down the street, making his way quite a ways to go before you grab public transportation and head to the high heights, to the tower tops, the synthetic natural landscapes created atop the arcologies where the vastly wealthy and powerful often reside up in the clouds. But before we get quite so high within the Bangkok surroundings, we move to a cafe. A small cafe, mid-level, the arcologies crisscrossing bridges and gateways as hovercraft move about. At this mid-level, near a club and lounge known as the Spire, there is a small cafe, Hector's Cafe. Here, Vivian Greer. Vivian Greer knows this is a meeting place between the movers and shakers, maybe not quite the ambitious, trying to move their way up the mega corporations, and the ambitious trying to move their way down the mega syndicates come to reside trading favors within the cafe over hushed conversations. They don't do it over the EMS because they know, well, net divers can tap into the EMS. Nothing beats a subtle conversation in a air-gapped cafe where individuals can share words. This is a favorite spot of Vivian Greer when she makes connections during her night job at the Spire. But as Vivian walks in to meet her friend Elliot, why don't you explain the double doors, classic diner doors swing open, the little jingle of the bell, still a manual bell, not even an overlay sound effect. No, this is classic brass little bell tingles as you enter into the cafe. Explain Vivian for us.
Vivian is about average height for a woman. She has dark magenta hair and gray eyes that the irises are wider than normal. Not enough to be obvious at first glance, but enough to be unsettling until you pinpoint what is going on with her face. Results of Chimera heritage. She is wearing a dark blue dress with very subtle detail of constellations across it and a dark purple coat and boots, and she heads to her usual booth where her contacts and friends know to find her, and she just gets her usual cappuccino, double shot espresso added to it, and she just kind of leans back and watches the door.
The main cook and kind of parishioner kind of the cafe nods to you, a large Asian man known as Tu, and he just kind of nods his head at you, knowing you're there, and starts to work on your drink. He has a little intern who helps him get the coffee ready for you. Of course, he taps the counter, and the waitress comes over with the daily news, which is less a piece of paper, though it's designed like a piece of paper, and it just has a scrolling feed, a video feed of different things, and written word going across it. Of course, still lingering news about the case that broke over in Vietnam. The UN detectives who stopped the mother killer. Although, Vivian, you've heard word on the street, might not have been, well, the UN like they say it is. Might have been some other forces at play, but of course, typical UN style, taking the credit for something. The coffee comes, and as the coffee comes, it gets sat down in front of you. As the steam rises, you hear the jingle of the door again, and in enters Elliot Penrose, is that right?
Yeah.
Elliot Penrose. Elliot Penrose walks on in, taller gentleman, darker skin, but still, he always wears a suit. Even though he is not lofty within the syndicate ranks, he knows that a good impression and being able to walk the line between syndicate and corporate is really important to any sort of promotion. Elliot sits down from you. Elliot, a member now of the Golden Seal, a syndicate dedicated to smuggling operations, to piracy, really the sort of culmination of all the old school criminal pirates and smuggling rings of the old world combined and formed into one mega movement. Like any syndicate, they have their less than legal side and their very dark side. The Golden Seal, on their dirtier side, is well known for being vast human traffickers and encroaching upon Red Saffron and other mega syndicates' territory of vast drug dealing. But Elliot hasn't yet gotten his hands dirty with such trade. He focuses on the smuggling, on the piracy, and on really being an ear and eye for the syndicate, which makes him which makes you both a useful tool to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some weeks ago, you had a strange encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing who to turn to, you eventually decided that Elliot perhaps knows or could find out most about one individual known as Vandenberg. A tall German fellow, never removed his shades, but walked into the spire as you were performing and just stared at you. Now, you work at the Spire, but you know the Spire is well connected, and its security is top notch, and so you know you don't possess the skills to hack the Spire, to get the feeds, to try and identify this individual. So you tasked Elliot with helping you out. A favor for a favor. That favor of Elliot's will come at some point, you know, but not today. Today, he's reporting out to you what he discovered. He taps at the newspaper. Well, Vivian, how are you doing?
Can't complain. Business is going strong as ever on all fronts. You look well. New suit?
New suit, yes. And you? I know they're subtle, but did you modify your senses?
Little bit.
There's a shimmer in your eyes, darling.
Oh, thank
It's lovely.
you. I was hoping you'd notice.
Not a specialist, but I've been thinking about genetic mutations. You have a person?
I could hook you up with a person, yeah. They do good work, subtle work if you want subtle, but they also are connected with the more ostentatious brand, if that's more
Yes.
your edge.
More radical. As much as I would like to have a pair of chompers and bare my fangs, I don't think it quite goes with my brand.
Oh, it could be a nasty
so yes.
surprise for someone later.
Subtlety, maybe the pheromones. I know they have served you quite well.
Oh, always. Coffee? Two
coffee,
makes a great
yes.
cup.
And, of course, a 3-stack waffles, please, 2. And 2 kind of nods, and he starts, extra syrup. Elliot has a sweet tooth. And so as that's getting served up, he again taps at the paper, and the newsfeed disappears. And what pulls up is the camera feeds of the 27th, the night of your encounter with Vandenberg. And it begins to play. To your memory, you sang several sets, applause as usual. You got off the stage and had words with Dan and Vivu, 2 merging politicians within the Bangkok political sphere, of course, as dirty as any politician is, one way or the other. You went and mingled with the police chief of your district, who was there with his wife, and you even went and greeted Elliot's boss, who was also there, not with his wife, but another dame. Not all too surprising. But what is not there in the course of the entire evening, there is no Vandenberg. There is no you walking over to a table to sit down and talk. You get back up and you do your sets, but your entire memory of that interaction does not exist on camera feed.
Oh, he's got money. Okay.
Yeah, it could be money, but what you described, Vivian, it's not there. I ran it by my friend Cook. He does some scrubbing work for the Golden Seal when needed. He doesn't think this video's scrubbed either. You sure you got the right night, darling?
It's the right night.
Well, I
Or
thought
did you-
so. You don't mess up this sort of stuff.
No.
I did pull the whole feed from the night across all the cameras. Haven't looked through them, but you're welcome. And he taps your paper again. Display of different camera feeds for you to mingle through, plays through. You've got the lobby entrance area, the discreetly hidden cameras in the bathrooms. You have the cameras outside of the facility. Is there any particular camera you would like to investigate?
I know there in a club like the Spire, there is likely a discreet exit. Now, there's no cameras on the exit because it's discreet. However, the corridor, however minuscule, leading to the exit does have a camera, not on the door, but the corridor.
Is that the exit you left through that evening?
It would have been, yes.
You jump to the discreet alleyway, you watch the footage there, and shortly after, you clock out. You leave into the alleyway, and that's when you see him. Vandenberg walks up to you. You have no memory of this. He walks up to you, calm and cool, his shades on, and you freeze in your tracks. You do not look away from him. You do not turn your head. You do not shake. You are perfectly still. You can hardly see yourself breathing in the camera footage. And he walks up to you tilts his head ever so slightly, and then nods. Takes his 2 fingers and taps your forehead, then turns and walks away.
She kind of enlarges the frame so that Elliot can see and just be like, well, there he is. Psionic,
This guy.
maybe. Uh-huh.
This guy.
That is not
He
how
starts-
that went down in my memory.
He starts pulling up overlay. Psionics, you think?
He did something to my head.
He pulls the picture from the newspaper, swipes it over into the overlay, and starts running just a general search. It takes quite a long time. Grainy images start to appear online. Questions from different forums, from different overlay categories. Things like, who is this? I have another person, not sure who, kind of kept anonymous. I have memories of this man, but there's no trace of him. Other things like this, but that's it. At least on the surface level, this man is virtually a ghost, and nobody knows who he is.
Well, having an image of a ghost is better than having no proof of a ghost at all. So, if this man ever comes up in your line of work, Elliot, you're welcome in advance.
I don't think I want to meet this man.
I didn't want to meet him either. He just showed up, so, you know.
But offering
Money for a job, and...
Job's a job, you think he's good for it. I tend to think the ones who are most mysterious are probably tend to be the most honest.
I think
The ones
so.
who talk a lot. And he kind of like looks off to him, like reflects on himself, that tend to double cross a little bit more.
Oh, I can't speak on that, but no, the quiet ones usually have reasons to be quiet, and they know when to be quiet, unlike those who are more likely to boast and then get a target on their head. Not that you would ever be so foolish, of course.
Yes.
You're still here, after all.
I mean, that's true. And Vivian, I think you and I will make our way up in the world. I'm sure of that. And by the way, thank you for the footage. It is most valuable. And he taps the footage to the timestamp where it shows his boss with some woman not his boss's wife. Helpful, to say the least.
Insurance, better to have it and not need it.
Indeed. I'll send the image over to, now that we know who this Vandenberg is, I'll send it over to Cook, see what he can pull. He kind of pulls up the time. I think if you don't get going soon, you might be a little bit late. And as he says this, the query pulls up one last image of Vandenberg. You see him emerge. It's the most clear image you've seen. You see him emerge from a hovercraft. The door opening up, and he emerges from a hovercraft. No timestamp on this image, no location data, just the video. And he approaches another woman, a youngish-looking Asian woman, who even upon looking at her, very like gothic, dark makeup, all black. Even in looking at her through this video, you just feel a little bit of dread in your gut at this person. Inexplicably, you've seen people who look like this before. He walks up to her. They do not talk. They stare at each other. And then they move on, and the door to the vehicle slides closed. And on it are letters that read Haruspex. Haruspex. A name you have never heard.
Oh. Either a new business or a very, very old one. Good to know.
Another thing to look into, but Vivian, you best be going. You don't want to be late to, well, Mr. Raile.
No.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Stay sharp. I'll see you after the job.
You too. And his waffles come, and he puts an inordinate amount of synthetic syrup onto the waffles, and kind of like rubs his fingers and begins eating as you head out the doors. We now shift. We rise up and up the spiring arcologies, a particularly vast arcology. At the top is virtually a forest mounted atop this arcology, acres and acres of land, where slightly mounded at a hill, and at the center of the hill is a large estate, a large mansion, virtually a castle built upon it, with several buildings that out and flank it. These are the personal estates of the Raile family. Exquisite, protected by the best state-of-the-art you possibly can get. Virtually nobody is allowed up here, by invite only. But we go there, and we go to an off-site location, a sort of workers' quarters or bunkhouse, where we see Vincent sleeping on his bed. Would you describe Vincent? He's asleep right now. Would you describe Vincent for us?
Vincent is definitely sleeping commando style. He is a large cut man who he's in his 40s, probably late 40s at this point. As I mentioned, he's retired from military service, but he is in probably like top physical form definitely for his age. Works out quite regularly. He takes his job very seriously, and his job depends on his physical and mental acuity and training. So he sleeps well because he works out so hard. And he's pretty well hydrated too. So he's getting good sleep.
Good sleep indeed. Except not tonight. No, tonight, Vincent is having a particularly disturbing dream. Vincent, your feet sink ever so slightly into the black sand beneath them, wet with the reflective light from a starless sky. A constant rhythmic crash of the inky black water surf flows around you. Thin sheets of it saturating the sand around your feet, sucking them deeper into the beach. Each wave carries with it rolling tides of fog and mist surrounding you. You close your eyes, your breath, you breathe in deep, and no rest like you have never experienced it before. In that silence, there is a chaotic fluctuation of beeps from an EKG machine, the rasping of ventilators and whirring of mechanisms keeping the contraption functional. A collection of shadowy figures now emerge, standing above Dreyfus Raile, and you recognize the space as Dreyfus's personal medical ward. Lying in his large bed of crisscrossing wires, all running to the makeshift headboard of fused medical machinery. The large windows, dappled with droplets of rain, lit yellow-green by evening light as the storm clouds break. There is a pregnancy to this moment. The individuals standing around stand almost ominously, like vultures staring down at a body about ready to descend. Then the black sand and waves again. You look up, your footing unsure upon unstable ground as you peer out of a pit. Figures high above, voices distended murmured loudly, then frozen as bullets of rain fall down, and blood spills upon the walls of the pit, washing your feet like the black waves in the sand. Now you float. You float in darkness. Glassed, domed looking glass in front of you, as big as you. Peering through it, where you watch a meager headlight fade into infinite darkness. Some dull glow of lettering on monitors by your waist in a language you have never seen, too blurry to read. Then the light finds it, the great steel mouth of some long sunken monstrosity hidden in the rocks. As it begins to swallow you, the fear of death fills you, flowing to the very tips of your fingers and toes, and how you wish you could scream. Next moment, long hallways of dust and steel, whispers in the walls, monsters skittering in the dark, madness on the lips. You walk through hell itself. Your quivering lips call for Remy, but silence follows, broken only by the thudding of your heart. But then a response. But it is not Remy's voice you hear, no, it is some old woman's voice, slowly mutating into something monstrous. Welcome, my child. You have found your home. You wake Vincent. There's the screeching of your alarm. Bed sheets damp with sweat, knotted and tossed about in what must have been frantic movements. Unfortunately for you, this is the third night of the same damn dream. Vivid and real, it clings to your psyche like a parasite. You know, in about a couple of minutes, you need to meet Remy. 10, 15 minutes to get ready, get on your stuff, and get over to meet Remy to walk up to the estate.
I swing my legs off the bed and just rub my eyes. I'm like, God damn it. Okay, pull it together, Vinny. Pull your shit together. Okay. And I get up and just go, this is methodical for me. You know, I grab my watch, slap it on. I grab my undergarments, pull them on. I start dressing. I grab my gear. I put on the belt. I start putting on some of the armored pieces that I generally wear when I'm doing civilian detail. Get ready, reach over. There's a glass of water next to the bed. I just splash it into my mouth quickly, drinking it down. Wipe my beard.
And as you head out the front door, you make your way over to the Tallow estate. Not nearly the size, of course, of Mr. Raile's estate, but Bridget Raile Tallow, the sister of Dreyfus Raile, lives there, and this is where you daily go to meet Remy, to take him to wherever he so wishes, most often his gifted bunker created by his uncle, Dreyfus Raile. And as you approach, you see Remy come out, and you're about ready to greet Remy when all of a sudden your comms starts going off.
Fuck.
Usually,
minute?
You would ignore this
gesture
call.
to Remy and just like, 1 sec.
You would ignore this call, but, well, it is from Lydia Mills.
Fuck. What else? God damn it. All right, Mills, what is it?
Vinny, good to hear from you. How are you doing?
You didn't hear from me. I'm hearing from you, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, I hope I'm not interrupting anything
You
too
are.
important.
You're interrupting quite a bit, actually. I do have a job here. What is it about?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a little bit of a conversation. Don't let me interrupt. I'll just chatter away in your ear, Vinny, okay?
Oh, shit. All right. Lydia, go ahead. I'm listening.
But when's the next time you come by the casinos, by the way, Vinny? I miss you.
Is there a
at this point
to this call?
a video pops up of Lydia Mills. She's like doing her nails. Lydia is quite a beautiful woman. Looks to be in her 30s. She has her hair's kind of tousled up, dirty, a pencil stuck through it, and she's kind of like doing her nails. You can see the newsroom in the background of different people scattering about, and she has like this beautiful like cuffed ear, like it's a very discreet cybernetic. You know, this isn't just jewelry, but her ear, almost elven-like in its appearance, but with metal and stuff. You know that this enhances her hearing terribly well. You also know that she also makes ample usage of pheromones, which was your downfall when you met her that fateful night in the casino.
Well, you have to bring that up, Paul.
Alluring as she is. And anyways, needless to say, well, I was actually first, Vinny, what do you got for me? You know, it's been a week, right?
Is this a secure line, Lydia? It looks like you're at work, for fuck's sake. Come on.
That's secure enough, Vinny. Plus, you probably don't have shit, so anything?
Anything what? What do you want this time? What is it? I mean, just what is it that you need from me right now? Please.
Copper hose, Vinny. You're next to the guy who likely designed it. Copper hose, what do you got?
I don't have anything for you, Lydia. Quite frankly,
what
I don't know
fucking
anything
expected.
about this copper hose. I don't know why you're so fixated on this thing. Okay? I told you before, I don't know shit about this. And if I did, I don't know if I'd tell you.
Well, Vinny, I don't need somebody who knows shit about this. I need somebody who can find out shit about this. And who better than you? So unless we're ready to start airing dirty laundry, or, you know, let's get on it, okay?
So threats,
at this
that's
point-
where we're at. That's where we're at now, Lydia's threats. I mean, do you know who the fuck you're talking to right now?
Vinny, I think we've always been at threats. I've been pretty upfront with you.
Uh-huh.
I don't think this is nothing. Why are you surprised? Anyways,
Well,
Vinny.
The surprise is this, Lydia. The surprise is the threats from you have come. Yes, they have. What's surprising me is the fact that I'm feeling as though I'm about to threaten you. And I don't like to feel that way.
Says the private security of Remy Raile Tallow. They might want to question your chops. Regardless, Vinny, I know you got nice muscles. I saw them. But, you know, if I was scared of a beef head, I wouldn't have my job. Regardless, Vinny, listen, I'll throw you a bone. How about that? At this point, Vinny, you got to start walking with Remy. Even if you can't speak with him, he needs to get up to the estate.
Sorry about this. Yeah, on a call.
And you guys start making your way up. It's starting to drizzle out. Vinny, I imagine you pop out a umbrella for Remy. No, okay.
I mean,
You just walk in the rain.
This kid takes care of himself. I'm just there if someone gets in the way.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
You guys begin to walk up, dapples of rain hitting your suits and so on. Well, listen, Vinny, I'll throw you a bone. You keep digging and give me what I want, and of course that's great, but I did some digging. Listen, you heard about this mother killer? I mean, it's been on the news everywhere. You got the news up there, right?
Everybody's
You know.
heard about this. Everybody's heard about this.
Well, I scored his kill sheet, his rap sheet, all the people he took out. You know, there is this gal. What's her name? Ah, yeah, that's it. This gal named Tuyet Vu. Tuyet Vu, just some some girl worked for a nonprofit, the CEO of a nonprofit. She gets offed by this Marcus Connolly guy, right? Well, it turns out her father was some sort of ex-Tharson guy who went on to work at some, I don't know, psychological ward. Okay, down in Malaysia.
Mills. Actually, I probably don't say her name. I just say, it always leads back to them, doesn't it, with you?
Yeah, of course. Vinny, they're mega corporations. And I mean, Tharson was like the worst. Raile is like the worst.
Okay, look, I'm about to walk into a meeting here.
What do you
got?
Make it quick. He was tied to copper hose. So there's some fucking psych ward down in Malaysia, not far from here, that's got connections to copper hose. So if you keep on not doing your job for me, you can at least go and check that out maybe before you get tied up in anything too much. Like maybe you and Remy take a field trip. I don't fucking care. But just get me something, Remy. Otherwise, this is gonna have to... I mean, I can only stay quiet for so long. Got it, Vinny?
Understood.
I mean,
just
unless you get me something else.
Keep this in mind for me. I look over at Remy. I'm just like, one of these days I'll come and visit you when I have the time. And we'll have a real in-depth conversation.
Oh yeah, in-depth. I get what you're laying down, Vinny. Okay. I'll wear my best dress. And she hangs up. You walk into the space. You're about ready to, of course, now greet Remy as you walk into Dreyfus Raile's estate. But before you can, you kind of enter into the main room. The medical ward is immediately off to your left, just down a hallway. And basically, as you enter, as you're about ready to speak to Remy, the doors to the medical ward swing open, and out walks Dreyfus Raile's 3 children.
Spoiled shits. I just mutter under my breath. Just loud enough that Remy can hear it.
Tuvren, the eldest son, Villian Raile, who you know is deeply connected to the Red Saffron Syndicate, kind of the unspoken disappointment of the Raile family. Tuvren, of course, it's no secret to you, Vinny, or to you, Remy, that Tuvren is just biding time for his father to pass as eldest son and likely heir to the largest portion of the inheritance, and of course his youngest daughter Claudia, the most quiet and most achieved, having risen to prominent degree within Samsara Medical's synthetic experimentation division. Waiting out in the lobby, of course, is Vera Raile, or Vera Wolf, Tuvren's wife, another beautiful woman. All of these individuals, by the way, 60, 70 years old, look no older than 30. All of them, of course, virtually immortal at this point. They come out, hushed conversations with each other. Tuvren doesn't even acknowledge you, Remy, or you, Vinny. He just walks over to his wife, all business. Villain walks up and he's like, "Hey, Vinny, good to see you." And then he kind of offers a fist bump to Remy. Remy ignores the fist bump and he's like, "Yeah, you too, kid." And he kind of walks on and he's like, "Old man wants to see you, Remy." And Claudia naturally just goes about her way, already busy, likely in an EMS call. Aaron Peel walks out of the doorway to the medical ward, and he just motions to you, Remy, and he says, Vinny, just Remy.
You got it. You need anything, boss? All right, I'll be here when you're done.
Over your shoulder, you hear Villian say to you, Vinny, by the way, you kind of look like shit. And then he walks, and he's like, I gotta piss. And he walks off. Remy, you make your way into the medical ward. A large circular room surrounds you. Why don't you describe Remy to me? Oh, you're muted.
Remy is a young-looking man, much like his the children of his uncle, his cousins. He's much younger than them, though. He is in his mid to late 20s, and a dark brown, close-cut haircut, clean-shaven, and he is wearing a now damp long coat that has protected his suit underneath. As he enters the hospital ward room, he removes his glasses that hide the fact that he has two different colored blue eyes that are very starkly different. One almost glowing, almost iridescent. And he waits patiently at the foot of the bed of his uncle, and just drips on the floor, not really caring that he's tracked water in.
You walk up to the bed. The bed is positioned in the circular room, virtually in the center, a large, like king-size bed. Crisscrossing over the blankets is just a series of wires, of hoses and wires, all connected to this, like arced around a headboard of machinery, medical equipment. Much of it experimentational. Dr. Rupa stands off to one side. He is a very proficient doctor who has basically, for the past several years now, been essentially living on the estate, taking care of Dreyfus Raile.
I do give him a nod, like of difference.
He gives you a slight head bow and a little wink. He's a kind man, well paid for his services. Really, honestly, the best in genetic disease and management. To the other side, Aaron Peel, as you know, Dreyfus Raile's right-hand man, personal administrator, and one of the most skilled lawyers money can buy. He stands, usually a statue. You've known him to be a largely emotionless man most of your life, virtually a machine. And of course, Dreyfus Raile. Dreyfus Raile, basically a skeleton at this point. His nearly translucent, poxmarked skin hangs loosely upon his frail frame. White, disheveled beard of hair, quite patchwork at this point. He has a mask on, a breathing mask on. You can hear the whirring of the machines. And he lifts his frail hand and just waves it twice. Aaron, Dr. Rupa, please, a word alone. With Remy. They nod. And they move their way out. Remy, very rarely, only when Dreyfus Raile was healthy enough, back in the time that you were given your bunker, your practice area. Only in those times had you ever really had time alone with your uncle. It has been many years since then. And this is the first time that he has excused his kind of two closest individuals from the room.
How are you, Remy?
I am ready.
Yes. Yes, I think you are. And even if you are not, time is not on my side. I have assembled individuals. Aaron has assembled some individuals, but they'll arrive here soon anyways. But I want to speak with you, Remy. I have no doubt you'll be able to carry out this assignment on behalf of me. But, well, I don't trust anybody else, Remy. You understand?
He waves his arm. The overlay, an image of Riot appears. An image of Vivian pulls up. Even an image of Vinny pulls up.
Certainly not these two. Never trust mercenaries. But we need them. Vinny's good to you. But Vinny is not a Raile, Remy. You are a Raile. Vinny can be compromised.
Yes, he is flawed, though I believe I will act in the best interest, as you have taught me, but I believe he will die before he betrays me.
Maybe. I hope that. But I have not made it so long in this life by trusting anyone so easily. I trust few. I have a great many sins to atone for, Remy. In my days, no wealth comes without them, no power without them. It is imperative, Remy, that you catch this Stone Gap girl before she makes her way too deeply into my sins.
All right.
They will come.
And he motions to the three.
They will ask their questions. They will receive the briefing. And some amount of answers. But they will want more.
Yes.
Be careful. Lastly, Dr. Rupus' news is not good. As you know, There is no cure. There is no reversing this. And should this endeavor take too long, Remy, I will not be here when you return. Nevertheless, it is imperative for the entire Raile family and our legacy that she is stopped. I, Stone Gap, or more pointedly, Marcus Connolly, cannot be allowed to get to his final destination. At all costs.
Uncle,
Yes.
you speak of legacy. I understand how important this is to remove that which would bring ruin to all is a very important mission. But your legacy, your children, is your heir, or is there another work for me when I get back?
Remy, I have 4 children, and each shall inherit their equal part.
And he gives you a slight smile.
It's surprising. But it does not answer my question, though. I trust you. Well, I have no choice but to trust you with everything in my life. I've trusted you. Is your heir your heir?
You speak of Tuvren? No. That greedy shit. Well, he's still a Raile. No. No, villain. Or useless yet. Anyone, Claudia. If you are close to anyone or to get close, be sure to get close to Claudia.
I ask you.
Oh, please, please.
I ask because your sons, at least one of them, they will not settle for splitting. That is not in their nature. And Railes are important. But Railes, and he looks at Dreyfus like a little bit of pity. Railes do not live forever.
Oh. Not this one. What my children can afford, I will never taste. But it's true. All humans are fallible. Though, ever increasingly less, the more money and power. Why it's important our legacy stays in place. No, don't you worry. Remy, the will takes care of all of it. Yes, he'll get money. He'll get his power, and he will exercise it. But you will inherit everything above the bunker.
You know, Remy, the bunker is built beneath this estate and has connecting hallways to every building on this estate. Essentially, the estate becomes yours. And by extension, the security, all the apparatus of that estate.
They will fall in line once they know. And Remy, well, my sons anyways, Claudia will be fine. She has made her way in the most excellent of ways. Some sort of medical. I'm proud of her. But the other two, they'll fall in line. And your powers, if nothing else, will bring them to heel. Remy, I do not doubt your abilities. I'm somewhat skeptical of the team, but it is what we need.
Do you have failsafes in place for them? Or am I the failsafe?
You will do, and the mission is straightforward. If they go way off, we can correct. Again, I do not care what they learn, so long as she is stopped from getting to their final destination.
And if they attempt to take up the search of Connolly?
Oh, deal with them.
Okay.
Remy, Siren's demise must never be breached. You understand me?
I do.
But if it is, you must go there and deal with it. And ready yourself, Remy. Any sins took place in that place. Any sins have been sealed away in that place. And no one should unseal them.
Do I burn it down if it is unsealed?
If you can, Remy. Do not trust what you see there. Do not trust what you hear there. And know for certain anyone you enter with is no longer an ally of any kind. I tell you more, but it will not come for that, I am certain. You are capable, and you are ready.
Ding, ding. This light starts going off in the monitor. You see two security cameras pull up as two hovercraft fly into the estate's grounds, making their landing where you see Riot and Vivian step off, escorted by Ivan, the lead security chief.
Your team is here.
Yes. Watch them. Study them. Look for their weaknesses, just in case. And go out. Makes for a more dramatic entry if they think you are for the first time entering. Theater is everything.
Yes. Appearance.
Yes. Is power.
Yes. All right.
He points to Vivian.
She understands that. That is her asset to you.
Right. The other one looks like, well, he looks like he wants to. I will check again, but through the monitors, it looks like he's wanting to blow up the estate. I'm not sure.
He's rough around the edges, but he is a proliferant net diver.
Oh.
Yes. I know you have never liked Tyson 2.
Tyson 2, by the way, also known as Black Rabbit, is a extremely deadly Eidolon hacker and personal cybersecurity to the estate. He doesn't say much, but you know he's watching you basically all the time. He's watching everybody all the time.
He's a dick.
He's a big dick.
He's a big dick. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you exit, Riot and Vivian enter. Vinny, you see these two walk into the main halls. Following them closely is Vlad Malnikov. Vlad Malnikov, Vinny, you've worked with. He's not the most pleasant guy in the world either. He is chief of security here on the States. Hulking man. Probably well over 60% cybernetic. He is highly modified with special ops, military, cybernetics, some of the stuff you can't get, and long history of black ops for various militaries before coming on board here. You don't mess with Vlad.
As security, would I be briefed at all on the arrival of these two individuals that are stepping out of these hovercrafts?
You would. You don't know much about Riot. Riot's a hacker and a net diver, proliferate net diver. You do know that this is a team pulled together without using the houses. And you also know that this is, well, all of you really know, and somebody like Dreyfus Raile could easily afford House Eidolons. But he has not chosen House Eidolons. He has chosen Eidolons that maybe not less skilled, but Eidolons that are disposable, don't have houses to back them up. Not saying that this is a death wish or any sort of thing, but you know that sometimes working with the houses comes with a long laundry list of agreements between the individual and the contract that they must abide by. So this mission clearly does not want to have to deal with all the red tape that comes along with the houses. So you know Riot is a hacker. You know he is a net diver. Unlike most net divers, sure, does he have some cyber attacks against the corporations? Yeah, but also against the syndicates and everybody in between, like hackers do. They gotta get their chops somewhere. You do know that Riot has been particularly quite successful against human solutions, which is not a laughing matter. He has chops, for sure. Vivian Greer, Vinny, you might have been once or twice to the Spire yourself after rising to this prestigious rank here within the Raile family. The Spire is it's a meeting place of the power makers, honestly. Mid-tier in the city, but it is, and Vivian, well, Vivian's often up to sing, to charm the people to share information as needed. And everybody knows that, and everybody respects that. And so she comes with an air, but naturally she plays the middle. Vivian has secrets and dirt on everybody. She's a wild card.
I'll look over at Remy. Would you look at that? Vivian Greer.
Is that the one? Is she the one at the blue place or the gold place?
She's the one that's at all places, Remy. Hey.
I thought there was a blonde.
There's always a blonde.
Always a blonde, says Ivan, nodding knowingly.
I'll lean in. And I'll just be like, everything okay in there with the old man?
I mean, he's dying, so there's that.
Well,
everything otherwise is all right. He more or less wanted to give me some encouragement.
Figured maybe the little shits were giving him trouble,
When I
hovering like vultures.
well, Claudia's all right, but the other two. Hey, Ivan, is that a new augment
Which one?
on your jaw there?
Yes. Jumpers. Discreet, though.
Ah,
Can bite through steel now, Remy.
They're not that
Hands
discreet,
steel.
Vlad. Just sorry to break it to you. They're not as discreet as
Really?
you maybe think they are.
no, but they look good.
His forearm opens up to internal storage. It's just like his arm just unfolds to like a shotgun that's well polished, and he just starts looking at his teeth in this shotgun that kind of pops out of his forearm.
Ah, damn it. I'll have to go back.
No,
You can see the tint, Remy, right here.
And he points
No.
at one of the teeth.
Yeah, I know, but honestly, it makes you look more rugged.
Well, maybe the next blonde will appreciate that.
And he starts walking to the back of the room.
One can only hope.
As he walks to the back of the room, Riot, you follow him. You come in, you see these two, Vinny and Remy. Remy, of course, looking all the trappings of elite. Vinny looking sort of a strange mix between private security and hired gun in his own way. Wearing the private security of the estates, but something about Vinny still holds on to. He's not as domesticated as Ivan who has been in here much longer. But past that, you lock eyes with he's only about 5 foot Asian man. Just black eyes, pure black. Except you see every once in a while just like a stream of like green codes slide across the eyes. And you know exactly who this is. This guy's a legend. This is Black Rabbit. Black Rabbit is one of the best net divers. And so you know immediately upon entering this estate is locked down by Black Rabbit. Tangoing with this guy, though, yes, in your dreams, that would be really fun. Now, standing in the presence, you can't help but feel that sort of standing like in front of like a living legend. Black Rabbit himself has pulled off jobs. He used to work for House of Fathoms, the prestige hacking house. They have hit corporations and stuff like that. But Black Rabbit left the house and moved into private security for the Raile family, which is kind of a mark against him in your book. But he's a legend nonetheless. And with that, before we walk in to the mission debrief, why don't we take a quick break here, and then we'll get into what this mission is actually all about, and all the intrigue and fun can commence from there.
Oh my god, amazing. You guys, I love your characters. Your characters are so cool. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
they're also cool.
Yeah, they
this
are.
is so fun.
Paul, thank you so much for setting this up. We will be back in just a couple of minutes, folks. Hang out, and we'll see you shortly.
There's some other dialogue that takes place. Of course, the 3 children who are in the lobby eye the ragtag party as they move down the hallway, escorted by Aaron Peel, who comes out. He's always in a suit. always air of arrogance and a robotic face, placid, no emotion on it whatsoever. He gestures, and you all begin to walk down the hallway towards the two grand doors that lead into the medical ward left open. You can see in, it is now midday-ish, but the rain has picked up quite a bit outside, and the clouds have become rather intense outside as well. But it's kind of the cloudy sort of day way up here on top of the arcology. It's kind of the cloudy day where it's like really dark skies, but not all of the skies are entirely covered. And it is creating a sort of greenish yellow afternoon light filtering in through the rain dappled windows of this rotund medical ward as you all enter in. Riot, hang just a little bit back as you walk in. And Riot, I'm guessing you're doing this quite discreetly.
Yeah.
Okay. Riot, make a hacking check.
All right. So yeah, what I want to do is, I'm playing the long game here. And so all I want to do is discreetly put a little message that's basically just hi Black Rabbit and an emoji of someone sticking out their tongue and flipping them off kind of thing. And I just want to try to make it as hidden, zero trace, imperceptible as possible.
Yeah.
Just to see how long it takes Black Rabbit to find it. Just so I'm learning, oh, this is how fast he is. This is how hard it's gonna be to do hacking later if I try to do shit,
Perfect. Well, Riot, would you please make the first roll of the game?
Okay. So for hacking, I use my intelligence. So I've got 4 dice, and then I have 4 in hacking. So rolling 4 dice and adding 4. Okay, we've got a 6 and a 5.
That's good.
Okay, so that is 11, 12. That is a 15 on the dice, 19 hacking check.
19 hacking check. Very good. Black Rabbit aside, that roll barely breaches on-site just firmware, submersion ice or whatever. You just barely eke it past the defensive perimeter of cybersecurity that is here. And you just sort of essentially tag the wall, essentially like a spray paint of kind, but code, this sort of image or whatever within submersion space. Just as you're walking by, I even imagine Riot just subtly at the side of his hand just whips his fingers across, and in the code, this sort of message writes out there. And time will tell just how long it takes Black Rabbit to pick up this message.
Okay, cool.
You all enter into the medical ward. As I described to Remy, here lies Dreyfus Raile, a character, especially to you, Vivian and Riot, who, for all the power and money, seems so feeble and insignificant. He seems like, honestly, a toddler next to all of these machines, these cables, these ventilation machines. He is so frail, you doubt that he could even sit up on his own out of this bed. He's propped up into like a halfway sitting position, pillows behind him. Even as you walk in, Dr. Rupa is putting another pillow underneath him, so he's a bit more sat up. And even as he does this, you see pain ripple through Dreyfus Raile's body, muscles twitching in like his pectorals underneath his robes twitch in pain, and you hear him grunt. And he sits up. Aaron Peel takes one side, as always. Dr. Rupa continues to work on the machines as the four of you flank him. Each of you towering silhouettes over him, essentially lying on this bed. We're going to start with Vinny. Vinny, in this moment feels just like your dream. Towering figures over a bed with a beeping EKG, yellow-greenish light spilling through windows. And your stomach ever so slightly turns at that. It just feels very reminiscent.
Well, thank you all for gathering here and taking this contract. We have much to talk about. I will do some of it. My administrator, Aaron, will fill you in with more of the technical details afterwards. It is no secret. I am cursed with a genetic disease with no cure. There is no medicine, no cybernetics or genetic mutations that can fix this. I will die, and I will die soon. Many people will be happy about it. I do not care. My legacy shall live on with my children, to live on with everything I have accomplished in this life. A great many good things for all of humanity. That's not why I've brought you here. You have all heard, no doubt, of the mother killer, Marcus Connolly, shot dead in an abandoned derelict warehouse of Ho Chi Minh City, Cambodia. No doubt you've also heard his last kill, kills, were the Stone Gap family, wealthy financiers within that city. The daughter, youngest, Vi Stonegap, has not yet been recovered. Her body, in part, that's for the fact she is not dead. She is also no longer Vi Stonegap. No, Marcus Connolly downloaded his memory drive, erasing hers into her body. Marcus Connolly is not dead. Marcus Connolly is Vi Stonegap. And as of yesterday, Vi Stonegap genetically sequenced permissions to enter New Atlantis, entered to her new residence there.
You all know that New Atlantis is a sprawling, huge, sprawling underwater metropolis that really only the elite and the wealthy live within. Riot, can you give me a net diving check?
Yep. Alright, 10, 13, 14, 17.
17. Riot, you know that New Atlantis, the entire city is air-gapped. meaning you can't hack it from outside. New Atlantis, you need to be within to hack anything in New Atlantis. In fact, and perhaps more troubling to the mission about to unfold, you need permissions to even call anyone outside of New Atlantis. You cannot EMS signal outside of New Atlantis. It is controlled tightly by a well-trained security team, by state-of-the-art technology, all so that the wealthy and affluent can live in their underwater metropolis, protected from the vials of those above.
Yes. Oh, this is not the end goal of Marcus Connolly. For that, you need to understand Marcus Connolly.
He waves at Aaron Peel. He knowingly pulls up a display, and an image of Marcus Connolly appears, an Irishman, young. Another image of his dead body, a hole, his head mostly blown apart, scattered to the ground.
Marcus Connolly worked for Black Operations, Special Ops for Human Solutions during the Acquisition Wars. His genetic military augmentations kept him rather youthful, as you see, despite his age. Marcus Connolly was tasked in hunting down black sites within the Pacific Ocean. You see, Thorson Technologies built several black sites underwater in the deep, deep depths of the oceans to conduct necessary research. Marcus Connolly was tasked with finding these and acquiring them for Human Solutions.
As he coughs into the ventilator, you guys even see a splatter of blood fleck onto the inside of the plastic ventilation chamber around his mouth. After a bit of coughing and Rupa dialing in some sort of machine, eventually some air.
Thank you. Marcus Connolly succeeded in his task in discovering, unfortunately, a black site by She Biogenetics division of Thorson Technologies. One of many divisions after the dissolution of Thorson that was acquired. It was divided by Samsara Medical and Human Solutions.
Remy and Vincent, you guys, of course, know. Riot, you probably know this as well. How convenient that Tuvren, the eldest son, is married to a wolf, and a wolf is a prominent family within Human Solutions, elite. And how convenient that Claudia is high within the research arm of Samsara Medical.
Though it's hard to stumble by, I used to oversee She Biogenetics before the dissolution of Thorson. Our research is in many ways why psionic users can do what they do today. It is why,
And he motions to Vivian.
your pheromones naturally make me like you, Vivian. It is why our friend Ivan can modify his body to the point where he is more machine than human. We helped open the doors of immortality and evolution of mankind. But it was not without its mistakes. Regardless, Marcus O'Connelly is deranged, psychotic, broken by his military service, a murderer, driven to return to that black site. There is a black site under the ocean that he, I believe, has discovered the whereabouts and has been trying to discover ever since he left it many years ago. He is desperate to get back there. And I promise you, what is in that black site must remain buried in that black site. I am tasking you all, even my own nephew, to track down Vi Stonegap, now Marcus Connolly, in New Atlantis. To enter New Atlantis, find them, and end them at any cost, before they find a means to get to the black site. Now, talking is difficult, but I will take as many questions as I can. Aaron will help answer and provide you with further details and, well, the complications of the mission. I will end with this. This mission, the reward is 20,000 crypts. Not all at once. Successfully make your way into New Atlantis, and I shall front each of you 5,000 to help with any necessary supports you might need within the metropolis. Stop Stonegap, stop Marcus from getting to Siren's demise, and immediately you'll be rewarded with another 5,000. The rest on your return. And perhaps just as importantly,
And he looks over at Vivian.
reputation. My word goes a long way in many ears. My family's word even further. Tallow, Raile, Wolf. The right people will know what you have accomplished, the favor you have done. Doors open. Doors that you would never have opportunity opened for you. If this is agreeable, it is what I am offering. You can, of course, walk away if you so choose. There are others. You are all here because you want to be. And at the end of the day, you stop a proliferant serial killer who they believe has already been stopped. But I promise he will not stop. And if he gets his hands on the technology within that black site, he will do far worse to this world. Please. What questions do you have?
He's got a bit of a head start. Say he gets to Siren's Demise before we get to him. Now, if we take him out in Siren's Demise and leave all the secrets there to stay beneath the waters, does that affect our final pay at all?
I do not. And I pray you all can stop him before.
Well, of course.
If you must enter the black site. I know what is there. I know the difficulty and the extra burden that will be upon you. You stop him. There in the black site, I will increase the reward to 30,000. Barring you allow what is in the black site to remain within it. Forget about it and move on with your lives.
Will you be giving us the coordinates to this black site so we know exactly where she's headed?
I will be honest with you. I do not have the coordinates to the black site. To my knowledge, everyone who did has passed. But Marcus Connolly...
He pulls up a list of victims of Marcus Connolly.
There is signs here that Marcus Connolly discovered it. Most namely,
And he points and he stops it on a singular name.
Samuel Glee, a marine biologist studying deep sea creatures, wildlife. I do not believe this individual was targeted by Marcus Connolly out of a whim. No, I believe Glee may have discovered the black site location in his research, recorded it, and I believe Marcus Connolly extracted it from him before he was killed. This might seem like ramblings of an old, paranoid man, but Marcus Connolly, I remember him 40 years ago. In a much younger body. He was peak. He was intelligent. He was strong, disciplined. That black site.
He holds back.
Siren's demise broke him. He did not return the same man. He was meant to perish long ago. But he has fought tooth and nail for this. He will get them. But not without difficulty still. Deep sea submarines are well controlled in New Atlantis. There are two options. Aaron.
Aaron steps forward. Yes. There are two options. He pulls up a data slate. Marcus Connolly can pursue the academy in New Atlantis, searching for their few vessels, deep sea. They have 2 deep sea vessels through the academy. He waves the side. The other option, though perhaps more dangerous but more proliferant, is the local security. Local security has 3 deep-sea submarines docked. These submarines are rarely used, highly controlled. No doubt, even at this moment, Marcus Connolly is calculating and figuring out acquiring one of them. When you get down to New Atlantis, your first step will not be to track down Vi Stonegap. Though perhaps it is possible, I highly doubt they'll make any predictable moves. You won't find them at the home that Vi Stonegap has already procured in New Atlantis. No. They will be busy working an angle, the academy or the military, trying to find how they access these submarines. To that point, it would be simple and easy, certainly, for Remy to enter. We could easily sequence the genetic code of Remy to enter New Atlantis, but we would be advertising ourselves. No, you will enter, smuggled in through the kelp farms. Naturally, New Atlantis needs its food, and food from the surface is expensive to ship down. They have established large fields, kelp farms, other delicacies of the sea that would no doubt be extremely expensive up here is commonplace down there. They are worked by farmers, commoners who are allowed to live in New Atlantis, less than elite type, but they work the farms. They also control the smuggling. Yes, even New Atlantis has its crime. Though you won't see the explosives and the guns that Arvin Nordica ships around up here. You will find smuggling. You will find illicit drugs and weapons. It is this means that you will enter into New Atlantis. Cole Briggs. He pulls up an image. Big, gruff, ape-armed gorilla of a man, farmer, literally wearing overalls, one arm cybernetic, shaved head, big, strong jaw. Cole Briggs is the union man of the kelp farms in the Southern District. He also is the ringleader for the local smuggling. Mr. Raile has procured his services to have the 4 of you smuggled in as kelp. You will enter through the shipping freights. We have arranged to make sure that the scanners will malfunction, that everything is in place for you to get in smoothly. But we are dealing with smugglers. Keep your wits about yourselves. Naturally, there might be some preparation you'll want to take care of here, above. For starters, as you well know, Riot, all of New Atlantis is air-gapped. If you're smuggling in, certainly you're not going to have access to communication. If you want access to communication to friends up above, I suggest figuring that out beforehand, before you go down. Breaching the air gap, taking over the airwaves will be a much harder task. No doubt you're up for it, Riot, but it will be limited if you're able to do it. If you want more ease of access to your contacts, you need to figure out a way beforehand. Second, weapons are not allowed in New Atlantis unless you have permits or you are security. And smuggling you in allows for you to bring in your weapons, but be ready and be cautious. They are always on the lookout in New Atlantis, and the last thing you want to do is draw the attention of law enforcement in New Atlantis. Needless to say, Talos Judicial is on speed dial in New Atlantis, and they act fast. You are in a city underwater. You bring in high-powered ballistic weaponry, well, you see the complications there. So, you give the word to me. I will set up the rendezvous, and you will make your way to the kelp farms. Beforehand, I suggest you get your things in order. If you have contacts to reach out to prepare, do so now. If you have further questions for Mr. Raile, well, I'll try to answer them, and Mr. Raile will answer what he can. Needless to say, the more time you take on the surface, the more time Vi Stone Gap has to enact their plan. Any questions?
Sir, Mr. Raile, how much of a head start does this Connolly have on us?
Our sources indicate 2 days ago, they passed through into New Atlantis. They were recorded, screened, genetically scanned, and given approval.
Do we have any other leads as to where she currently is? Or is that our last known information we're going off of?
He waves his hand at Aaron. Aaron sends over an address to you guys. Yes, this is the address purchased by the Stone Gap family. Where all of them would have lived if they had not been murdered by Marcus Connolly. Naturally, as the last Stone Gap, Vi has access to this premises.
Perhaps
It's not much. It seems small. Certainly no estate. But, well, things are quite expensive in New Atlantis. And it is considered a luxury where they're at, regardless. If Marcus Connolly is stupid enough to be operating out of there, you can certainly head there first. I suspect, so does Mr. Raile, that Vi Stone Gap perhaps visited the premises once upon arrival, and will find other accommodations. I think you will be more successful in navigating maybe Briggs' network or other criminal networks to possibly find where Marcus Connolly is located. Or at least where they're headed.
Sir, you can certainly count on me. I'll do everything I can to get this done. I'm just curious if the local authorities might be better suited to apprehending this individual, or is it something that needs to be done quietly? I mean, I can do things quietly. It's something I have in my capabilities, but sometimes things get messy.
Mr. Raile sits up.
I will not involve the security apparatus. They are aligned with elements that shouldn't get involved. No. If you kill Vi, I don't care how drastic or loud it is, as long as she is gone.
And the black
As long as Marcus Connolly is gone, and the black side, yes, Remy, remains.
The black site stays, stays black.
Stays black.
And once we complete the job, we just have Remy, if I may, contact you to send us back to the surface.
That's correct.
Yes.
I have the resources to, well, eradicate any criminal record or evacuate if you're able to keep a low enough profile. Your cost and record will not be impacted by your New Atlantis operation. unless you go about it loudly and are unable to secure Marcus.
And let us be clear about this. Vinny knows well the trappings of such a mission, but I am new to you too. This is not a mission of if or when. This is a matter of we will kill Connolly, we will destroy him. And if, for whatever reason, you have designs on the black site yourself, there is no option there. We keep it closed at all cost.
I am dead-eye staring at Riot right now.
I'm looking at Vivian because I'm starting to feel the pheromones too, and I'm sort of uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable feeling going on, and I'm like,
We're all cool here.
I don't like this.
Yeah. I think I see Vinny's eyes on me as you say that, and I'm just like, hey, I think I'm all in. You know, I'm all for taking out a serial killer, and I'm all for messed up science not getting in the wrong hands. Now, I think the wrong hands would be Corpo's, but we might disagree about what the wrong hands are, but it sounds like you don't want it going to anyone. That sounds okay by me. I will say, and maybe we can discuss this later, as far as payment for this, I'm happy with the amount of money that you're wanting to throw at us, but there's maybe some information that we could trade, and I would care a little less about the money. But we'll talk about that.
We can discuss that. Well, Aaron, we'll discuss it on my behalf.
Could we see an image of Stone Gap, just so we're not surprised?
Certainly.
Aaron pulls up
Thank you.
an image of Stone Gap. A girl, 17, going on 18, petite, half Asian,
Not the one I saw on the feed in the alley?
Not the one you saw in the feed.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, nope.
So much power and in such a small package. A murder of how many, Aaron?
That we know of, over 20.
So quite capable murderer at that. What
You have
what
to
were
remember,
the-
He does have a new
This is-
physique to contend with.
this is not
Hmm.
Vi Stonegap. This is Marcus Connolly. This is decades of military training, black site operations, augmentation, compressed into her mind. And I will note, Vi Stonegap is a latent psionic herself.
This gets more fun every time you speak.
She is underdeveloped. The information was kept on the down low. It cost quite a fortune to acquire it.
Is she known by,
Conclave?
The Conclave.
do they know?
Unfortunately, the Conclave cannot be bought.
No, I'm more worried about if they decide to take matters into their own hands.
Which they have done
It is-
before.
Yes.
They do always, Aaron says with a slight tone of frustration. The Conclave cannot be bought, so we cannot find out that information.
Do we have any
known-
reports of scions entering New Atlantis?
Do we think we're gonna have competition?
Yes.
Scions in the New Atlantis, hard to say. If it's a scion with the conclave, that is likely to be well hidden. But perhaps you can dig something up.
In your extensive looking into Stone Gap, did she have any cybernetic or genetic mutations so that we might be aware of what Marcus now has access to in the new body?
Beyond her access to New Atlantis, no.
Okay.
She was still a minor. Her family presided over her, not even resonators or amplifiers. She had only been diagnosed with her latent psionics a month or so before her family was killed.
So was this a matter of some sort of transplantation of his stack into her body, or what became of the actual Stone Gap?
He pulls up a council. It's a council of a very hodgepodge machine inside of a factory. What looks like a factory that maybe took care of like solid waste management or something. But this looks totally out of place. It looks put together. This machine, kept from the public, records only of the UN and now the Raile estate, is a machine that overwrites memory drive information. We believe Stone Gap was taken hostage by Marcus Connolly, and that Marcus Connolly erased her memory and replaced it with his own. We do not believe that Stone Gap any longer exists. She is slated. The machine, when recovered, was not in a workable condition. It was destroyed. The information on it, unrecoverable.
It does not rule out that Connolly might have augmented her with a resonator or amplifier, or both.
There is an unaccounted near month that Vi went missing before she entered New Atlantis.
Yeah, if he was able to access the finances. I don't know if you have any record of... That might have been a little too attention-gathering to check the finances, but he did have plenty of time to get his old augmentations into her body, in that case.
A possible lead worth investigating. We, of course, have not invested into that, but one angle to play at.
Was there a record of what, Marcus's augmentations were, or is that now probably a moot point given how much time has passed?
Right, Marcus's augmentation, at least what would be transferred via memory drive, which is the only truly important thing, is an excessive amount of military training. Both learned and programmed into the tissues of his brain and recorded in his memory drive.
Classified, no doubt.
Of course.
Hidden.
For that, you would have to go poking around in human solutions, military, data systems, which is a hard nut to crack. Just ask Black Rabbit.
Let's just assume it's very, very extensive and very, very dangerous.
But Marcus Connolly left you a breadcrumb trail. And he points back towards the list of dead people murdered by him over the years. Now again, the clock is ticking. Don't spend too much time here, but you might be able to find some interesting information.
When does our transport leave?
You give the word. We'll set up the rendezvous.
How much time do we need, Remy?
We do not have much time. I suggest to all of us, begin contacting who you can as fast as you can and get done what you can now. and have a plan for when we get down there.
I would suggest no more than 24 hours if we intend to keep this trail warm.
Sorry, go ahead, Riot. We didn't hear you. You were muted.
Sorry. I think I can make that work.
I can
Miss
put in some
Greer?
calls. Oh, yeah. I've contacts, and that's a rush job is not unusual to them.
Setting up the rendezvous will take roughly 6 hours. So when you are about 6 hours from when you want the rendezvous, let me know. I will get it arranged.
All right.
In the meantime, do what you need to prepare yourselves. You're headed into New Atlantis, and so needless to say, Riot, be prepared for intense security monitoring the cyber network. Your skills will be useful there, and that's why you're part of this team. Likewise, Vivian. Well, your charming demeanor will get you far in New Atlantis. Use that to your advantage. Vinny, well, you know your role. You know your role well, and the best laid plans almost always come to a point where you need a Vinny. Remy, you have the Raile name and the Tallow name. Like Vivian, that will get you far. Use your skills well and wisely, and hunt down Marcus Connolly. We suspect that it will take roughly 2 to 3 more days at the very least for Marcus Connolly to get the window he needs to procure a submarine. At the least, be
Nice.
best case scenario for him. I think you have time, but not a lot of it. Is there any other questions? Otherwise, we will allow Mr. Dreyfus to rest, to recover.
I think we're done.
I'm satisfied.
He motions you all for the door. When you're ready to make your way out of the estates, just let Ivan know. He will arrange the correct transportation. Dreyfus Raile waves real quickly, and he motions for your hand, Remy.
I go over and take it.
Remy,
Mm.
be careful. Stay safe.
Uncle. I look at the group. Uncle. Think on what I said about legacy.
Yes.
I would hate to find your wishes gone against just because you're no longer here.
Remy, I was never a strong man. Never a man with a body like Vinny's. No, my skill.
Few men have that body, so that's
Right. But I was blessed with a mind.
Mm.
I have played over many scenarios. You do not have anything to worry about. Vinny,
He looks up at you.
Yes, sir.
keep him safe.
Of course, sir. With my life.
Thank you. No doubt.
And he lays back and closes his eyes.
all right. Let's all leave him to rest. I'll be interested to see what you two bring. I know Vinny well enough.
You head out.
I'm still
into the-
looking at Vivian and not like meaning to, but I'm like staring at her like it's just unsettling. I just
She's a lounge singer. She's plenty used to getting stared at. She is completely
Yeah.
unfazed by you.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for him. It's
Mhm.
just he's just like, I don't know why I'm staring at her.
Sounds annoying.
Feels weird. I'm gonna hide behind Vinny.
As we leave, if I can, I'm going to motion to Aaron Peel.
Aaron kind of looks over at Dreyfus real quick and then nods and walks towards you, Vinny.
I'll just kind of take him aside as the rest of them are kind of having this conversation and walking out with Remy. Mr. Peel, I have a bit of a problem that, I thought I should inform you about. I feel it pertains to the security of the operations and the family.
Mm.
But
Go
it
on.
might require something, an aggressive approach to solving this problem.
Well, depending on what it is, we not off the table. And he kind of raises an eyebrow towards Ivan, who's just kind of sitting on one of the chairs in the foyer.
I look over at Ivan as well, and I look back at Peel. I'm like, possibly slightly more subtle.
Well, that can be arranged as well. What are we doing, Brittany?
There's a reporter who's been asking far too many questions. Some very specific questions about something that I know very little to nothing about. Something called the copper hose. It's gotten to a point where something needs to be done with this individual. I need to focus on this mission at hand, but is there something that you can do to deal with this? Make it disappear?
Possibly. I would need to find out exactly what copper hose is. I'm not familiar with it.
I think that's irrelevant. I think the relevancy here is the individual.
Digging around in what they shouldn't. Send me their information. I can see what we can do. Ideally, we handle this in a discreet way that more maybe tarnishes reputation beyond repair sort of way, rather than, dirty work. But if you think it's only that method, we can explore that as well.
I'll take a look at it, and if you think that I should handle it myself, I will. But I thought I'd make you aware of the situation, sir.
Well, Vinny, we appreciate that. Honesty and trust is a must here in the Raile estate. Riot, do you have a question, Ben? You're muted.
I just wanted to ask if there's any way I could have overheard that conversation.
Was this happening over EMS, Vinny, or was this happening verbally?
This was a verbal question or a verbal conversation, okay. I think. Yeah.
Go ahead and make an awareness check for me, Riot. Vivian, were you interested in listening in as well?
Yeah, she's always listening.
Okay, great. You go ahead and make it with your enhanced hearing bonus.
Enhanced hearing. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might use an edge dice on this because
Well, why don't we ask what you got first, so we can always find out what you rolled first before you use an edge dice.
All right, I only got an 8.
An 8. How discreet was this, Vinny? Was it fairly discreet?
Pretty discreet. Yeah. I
would say that an edge dice probably will not be enough to overhear.
Okay.
What do we get, Vivian?
I would have loved to hear that.
Bonus,
you could burn your capstone. You could burn your capstone on it.
Vivian, a 17, you do overhear most of this conversation.
Cool.
This is, of course, the first time you've heard of anything called copper hose. Doesn't necessarily mean anything to you, but now you know that there's something called copper hose and it has some sort of implications.
Did Peel, when I mentioned that to Peel, did it look like he knew what it was, or did he not know what it was?
No, he just kind of raised an eyebrow, but he doesn't see. Well, I mean, actually, why don't you make an insight check? Peel is
you.
like a robot.
He's
He's
a
pretty
lawyer,
hard to
like-
read. Yeah.
I'll make an insight check. Where is insight? Intuition, you mean?
Yeah, that's the one. That's old D&D brain.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
intuition.
It's a 9, but I'll happily use a edge die if I need it.
I don't think it would make much difference. You can't read him.
Okay.
He's a wall.
Don't need to. I trust this guy more than most people. So.
So does Dreyfus Raile. So,
Mhm.
I mean, this is Dreyfus Raile's right-hand guy. He trusts him certainly more than his 3 kids. So.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something I need to deal with, then just let me know.
Yeah.
And I will send the information over.
Okay. Perfect. Riot, I know you had mentioned you wanted to maybe negotiate terms.
Yeah, you know.
Or do you want to
to
do that at a
see-
later time with Aaron?
I think I want to. I have something I want to say to Aaron to that effect, but I think a full negotiation will be later.
Okay.
But I think I do want to kind of go to Aaron and just say, you know, money is great and all, but I think that certain information might suit me even better. And we can talk about specifics later. But I think you might know that there's some information of a very personal matter to me that I would like to know about. And I kind of want to see if he shows any recognition to that.
That's going to be an intuition check from you.
Okay. Let's see. What's my intuition? Okay, I don't add anything. Okay, that's a better roll. 9, 10. That is 12.
For a 12, hard to say. Maybe. I mean, certainly with somebody like Black Rabbit in the pocket of Mr. Raile, access to information would probably be fairly deep. Aaron doesn't give much away. A stony look at you, just kind of waiting for you to say what you want to say. And upon completing, he's like, well, depending upon what is requested, of course, we will wait and see if it makes sense. And as our dear friend Vivian knows, oftentimes information is expensive. So, 30,000 is a lot of crypt. But information surely can be more weighty than that. Your personal matter, well, I'll bring it up with Dreyfus Raile. And you reach out, perhaps before you enter New Atlantis, unless you find a good way of contacting me beyond New Atlantis's security, but be happy to discuss in more detail the terms. We are happy to negotiate. We understand that not everybody is interested in, say, wealth or power. They want something else, a different kind of power. Sometimes that comes in knowing certain things. We're happy to engage in such activities as well.
All right, then we'll be talking.
Just know, renegotiation. We reserve the right to negotiate caveats as the time presents itself, really depending on how you do, if that makes sense.
Of course. But just know, with this matter, I'm going to get this information. So you guys just decide if you want to make it easy. Okay?
Yes, now take that attitude, focus it towards the mission, and we will not have an issue. And he pats you on the back and then turns to go back into the ward.
Of course.
Paul, I have a question. Would we
Yeah.
have already, after we've agreed upon we're taking this mission, would we have seen the credit to our account of the 5,000 credits? The advance?
No, sorry. So what was discussed was upon arriving successfully through the kelp farms into New Atlantis, that's when you'll see your first 5,000.
Ah, got you. Okay.
Okay.
The second 5,000 will come at the time of apprehending, or eliminating,
Right.
yeah, by Stone Gap. What wasn't mentioned, but does get sent to you, like this full mission brief gets sent to you from Aaron. What wasn't mentioned is should Vi Stone Gap successfully get to the black site or escape on the submarine at least, 5,000 more will be released to you because the black site will have its own challenges and you should prepare for that pursuit.
Okay. As we are walking out, I'll walk over to Vivian. Miss Greer. I'll reach out my hand to shake hers.
She'll shake. She's like, Mr. Malone, what can I help you with?
It's a pleasure to meet you. I just, I'm looking forward to working with you. I know you are, by at least reputation, quite capable in the work that you do. But if there's anything that you need, anything at all, don't hesitate to ask.
Well, I think you have plenty of skill sets that I do not, that I will probably be in need of, given that we are after a military-grade serial killer.
I agree with that 100%. I also think your wit and grace will be a major asset to this operation. If this new Atlantis is anything like I imagine it to be, the ability to communicate effectively with people, which is not necessarily always my strength, admittedly, will be critically important. And I would look to you to help us navigate some of those social challenges. But when there's a problem, you just let me know, and I'm happy to step in.
Will do. I would appreciate that. And I will, of course, do what I can to ensure we can travel smoothly and unencumbered through New Atlantis. I get all sorts in the club. I know how to talk to a wide range of people.
I imagine you do. I imagine your fans will be missing you during the your vacation, as it were.
Oh, they will, but that'll make the return performance all the sweeter for them.
Well said. Well said. Well, I look forward to our mission.
Likewise.
What remains on all of your minds? If you're to use your contacts down in New Atlantis, you'll need to find a way, likely beforehand, to ensure communication can remain active. One challenge you face. Second challenge is getting all the information you guys need, headed in through the different avenues to beforehand, especially if you can't keep communications before you head down in what is sounding like a 24 hours intended departure.
I think I would make my way over to Riot as well, as this is all, as we're sort of like filing out. Mr. Riot, pleasure to formally meet you. I'll reach out my hand to shake.
Sure.
I don't know what your plan is, but you seem quite capable. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, of course. But do you, if there's anything I can do to assist with anything that you might need to establish communications, this air gap situation, is it something that you can breach so that we can have communications outside of New Atlantis, or is it beyond your capabilities?
Well, it's something I plan on looking into. I guess question for GM, off the top of my head, would I have any ideas, or would I need to make a net diving check to try to see if there's some sort of tech that could get past this air gap?
Yes, so you know that communications does happen. So there is signaling that takes place, but it is controlled by the security apparatus of, so like hacking into it from externally is virtually impossible because it's air gapped. But channels are kept open for signal channels. So if there's any hacking attempt or communication, it has to move through one of these very tightly controlled channels. These channels would be controlled by both a source externally. You would have to do some amount of research on where that would be or what that would be and how to get to them. But there would be the source within New Atlantis and an external source controlling this frequency, controlling these communication pathways. If you can find a way to manipulate the external source or interject yourselves into an approved list or whatever, you could potentially still have communication down below. But you're likely talking about either yourself or contacts or somebody else finding ways to gain you access to it.
So would we be able to establish our own communication channel, or would we have to piggyback, do you think?
It would likely be, I mean, could you achieve? I mean, it really is going to depend on how much influence dice and the right contact, but you could maybe do your own secured, or you could possibly get your own. I mean, you have to remember there's lots of highly elite people living down there with many conversations that probably are meant to be very private. So it's about getting the right level of sensitivity on your signal and probably piggybacking on an existing channel. That would be the easiest way, is creating a channel that is sensitive so that it's not listened to or protected, but is already an existing frequency.
So I think Riot kind of answers with a short version of that, of just kind of like, communications do happen in and out of New Atlantis. They're just very controlled. So if I can maybe get access to the servers and pathways that connect outside and inside, I might be able to piggyback messages or disguise our messages as something that it's expecting. But I'd want to try to find this hardware that's outside of Atlantis before we go in to keep that gate open.
Riot, would you make a civics check?
Yeah.
And while that's happening, Paul, are the channels of communication like wireless, digitally transferred, or are they like along a physical like communications cable type of thing?
They wouldn't be along a physical. This would be through Omni-N. It's just essentially it's like an almost entirely air-gapped society, except small streams are left open, essentially like pinholes through that air gap. But they're choke pointed with like heavy ice and programmatic defenses.
So I was thinking more about like creating our own pinhole. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. Anyhow.
Could be another possibility, though Riot would know that would be a level harder than hijacking an already existing one.
Okay.
Right, what'd you get for a civics check?
I got an 18.
18. 18, you would know that likely the controlling authority would be the UN, based out of either New Zealand or Australia. Because of proximity to where New Atlantis falls on the sunken continent of Zealand. So it would be one of these two locations. You could probably, in order to hack it, you'd probably have to be on site.
Mhm.
And we're talking about UN level security. Or what would probably be more expedient is utilizing a contact if one exists that could try and take on the task while you do other things. But I ultimately leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to try and take on a UN communications post for New Atlantis, I'm more than game to see how that goes.
Just know this, right, Mr. Wright, just know this, that if there's anything you need that I can help you with to accomplish this task or others, don't hesitate. I do have some contacts that could perhaps help us to do the things that we need to do if we team up with our leverage.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I mean, if you... I think we're dealing with the UN here. If we want to do this kind of make sure that we can still contact people outside from inside. If you want to go on a mission with me and try to hack the UN, we can do that. Or maybe
we might have more
explore
success
some of your
trying to steal
contacts.
the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, maybe.
What's left of it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably lost somewhere in a Luddite colony, somewhere in the Northern Union. Regardless, as you guys are discussing these sort of things, Riot, where we're going to end tonight, you guys are all discussing figuring out next steps. What's going to happen? Where do we go? How do we get communications open? Lingering in the back of Vivian's mind naturally remains this individual, this other woman. Ha respects what is that. Meanwhile, all of this other new information of this mission coming together, how does it all fit together? Riot, as you guys are leaving the premises, each of you planning your next step, you get a little ping. It's just a message, simple data message, all coded, saying, "That's funny." And then what proceeds is a code to a deep sea submarine based out of New Atlantis. Just in case. Black Rabbit.
I think I will message back. Took you long enough, and thanks.
All that's sent back is a winky face. And then that's where we'll end the episode tonight.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Got an emergency sub. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
He doesn't seem to have a whole lot of faith in us, does he? Or maybe he knows a lot more than we do.
Yeah, so one of those.
Yeah, probably. Great job, you guys.
That
That was
was
awesome.
handy.
That
Yeah,
well
this is
done,
so
guys.
exciting.
Yeah.
So
Your
Very
characters
good
are
role
so
playing from
good.
you guys.
Yeah, the characters.
Yeah.
I love these characters.
This is gonna be real
Oh my
fun.
yeah,
Very
what a
cool.
crew.
Mhm.
What a crew.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Paul. That was great. Good setup.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, really good setup. I'm stoked.
So cool.
An underwater city.
Yeah,
How cool is
I'm
that?
excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
We may or may not get our BioShock on, okay?
Yeah.
Let's get going.
There we go. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I was going to reference James Bond Thunderball, but whatever.
Oh.
I just remembered an underwater battle with spear guns and scuba.
Right.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. Anyways, thank you so much. That just dated myself. And We are let's go around the table and reintroduce. If you came in and you're just wanting to get to know who these people are and where to find them, let's do that. Let's start with Ben. Let's start with you, my friend. Welcome to Guild Superior. Awesome first session. Riot is so cool. Can't wait to see what he can do.
Hi. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. And this is so fun. I'm excited for the rest of this. And I am Ben Guest. I am GM Ben Guest on social media. You can find me there. If you're wanting to do TTRPGs in Chicago, hit me up and maybe you can play at my table.
Hell yeah. Are you gonna be at GaryCon this year?
Ooh, we'll see. I'm trying to hit the con racket more, so it'd be very cool.
Yep, it'd be a lot of guild associated folks there for sure this year. So anyhow, it's great to have you here. It's really cool. I'm really excited to get to know you better. And Steph, so glad that you're back with us for this. Thank you for being available and interested and such an awesome role player.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know about the game. I'm not in any other games at the moment, so it's really fun to get back into it. You can find me under my Discord handle, Lavenza. Usually I'm lurking around the different channels I'm in. That can be Guild Superior, also over at Live from the Apocalypse. You can also find me on Blue Sky under sbrown_rights, where I just don't use it a lot, but I do lurk. So usually I'll see a message if you send it to me.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Tim, always a freaking treat to be sitting at the table with you. Welcome back.
Yeah. A little different than our new Varden relationship going on.
Yeah, that's true.
This time around, a little less.
We gotta, we like to exercise our abilities.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
I'm Tim. I've been playing Remy. You can find me on Discord because I have an Instagram because I had a Facebook. Or you know that weird thing that happened, and I don't check it hardly at all. I don't really do social media. I have a bunch of friends on Discord and a bunch of friends in real life, and I like it that way. That's how I go. But you can. I'm barely. I'm barely hanging on in Discord. Is the tagline, and it's the truth. So, just hang on. That's all you got to do.
Just a little while longer.
Just a little while longer. Yeah, it'll be all right.
Tim, you're a great guy, and I love playing with you. So anytime we can be workout buddies in the TTRPG space, I'm down.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you. And Paul, like I said earlier, I'm so happy to be bringing this game to the channel and continuing to showcase this really cool system. Folks, Paul and Josh created the system that we're playing, created this world that we're playing in. It came out of that guy's head right there. And so it's pretty awesome. There's going to be some fun stuff coming up in the new year that I'll let Paul talk to you about when he's ready. But I'm just really excited for you, Paul, with all of the momentum that you have with this game. I'm excited to see it get more and more exposure in the world. So thanks for bringing it to us.
Yeah, of course. Paul Angelo, go by either, or Penburrow online, author of House of Eidolons, along with my co-author Josh. But yeah, just really excited to play through this. Also, go check out the website and look into the classes. We have an amazingly talented artist who has done just fantastic work bringing to life the classes. He's working on some really cool montages right now, and we're getting ready to kickstart very, very soon. So more of that to come. And we're also have a really cool, if you watch the prelude, one of our players played what we called a necrotech. So that basically instead of controlling drones, they're controlling bodies. And so kind of our pre-kickstart goal, which we'll announce on stream at some point here in the near-ish future, when that opens up, is anybody who pre-backs at $1 will essentially get exclusive necrotech sort of origin equipment and that sort of stuff to the game, and we will never actually release that information beyond that. So anybody can back early, get that exclusively, and you can be a cyberpunk necromancer. So that will be a lot of fun. But we have a lot of plans. We have a lot of stuff in the works. You can find me on Discord. You can find me on Instagram as Penburrow. And just thanks everybody for watching, for joining. Amazing. You guys did awesome. Your guys' characters are so fun, and I'm really looking forward to the interpersonal intrigue and how this all plays out. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Paul. And you guys know me, I'm Dave. I got a couple of quick announcements and then we're going to do a raid and pass the love forward. Again, this game will be going every week on Thursdays through February. So come on back and follow the story along with us. If you want to come over to the Discord and hang out and learn more about House of Eidolons and other games and hang out with cool and goofy people, please do that. And this Saturday, I got to make sure that I mention Alan Henry is back with his crew from New Zealand, and we're diving back into the story that we started a year ago. We were playing Tales from the Loop, and now 4 years have passed for our little gang of friends. And so now we are playing Things from the Flood, which is kind of like a sequel game to the Tales from the Loop game. It's really cool, very similar in essence, but now the kids are older. I get to play Milton Haroldson, who is this 15-year-old kid. I'm the youngest of the group. Everybody's like 18 and 19 now, graduated, but I'm still in school. I still have a curfew and all that good stuff. But it's like 1991, like an alternate 1991. So it's like so much fun to play in 1991 because I was like that age kind of then. So anyways, it's very cool. Come and check that out. And then we'll be back here on Tuesday for more These Withered Roots, which is a new Shadow Dark campaign that we started this Tuesday. Very, very excited about that. Great cast and just really intense. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. And that's it. So hang out with us. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Stick around for the raid. Bye, everybody.